Hello, hello. Welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy. I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today, I'd like to talk to you about another underrated film that I believe you need to check out. You have to check out, especially this holiday season. Uh, yeah, and this film actually came out around December, and I remember this. The movie's almost 20 years old now. I just realized that, dang, 20 years. So this movie's 18 years old. 18. And there's a video game from the movie, and I actually love that video game. I think it's one of the best video games based off a movie of all time. And this film I'm going to mention is Peter Jackson's adaptation of King Kong, which stars Naomi Watts, Jack Black, Andy Serkis as the Kong, and Adrian Brody. And off the record, I don't think I'm going to include video footage of the film because I think, well, because I've tried uploading this video review twice, and then there was a copyright label onto it, and I think it has to do with, well, rights issues. I mean, obviously, I don't know. Universal still owns the rights to Kong because you have Kong over through Warner Brothers with the whole MonsterVerse shit. So, um, I don't know. I'm just not gonna include any footage into this video. So maybe snippets, maybe stills, but I ain't trying to go through the whole copyright. Forget that shit. But the film, back to the film is set during 1933, just as like the original film, which the original film was made in 1933, of about a film crew that travels to a deserted, creepy island in the middle of nowhere where they're infested of creepy crawlers and about to be extinct dinosaurs until they run into a giant 25-foot gorilla Kong who rules supposedly the island. And then you have the fateful tragedy that does take place later into the film. For those who don't know of the story of King Kong. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is one of the greatest remakes I've ever seen. And I know Lord of the Rings gets a lot of love through Peter Jackson's work. I have a lot of love for this film too. As for Peter Jackson as a director, and I can tell you, I remember was getting so excited and hyped for this film. I can't tell you the level of excitement that I had with this movie, and I loved it. I loved it growing up, watching the film. I saw the film twice in theaters. I remember seeing it twice, and I remember when the film ended, the in crawling, and then the credits looks beautiful. It just looks beautiful in the theater. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful film. It's a beautiful film. It's a beautiful, well shot. It's art direction and everything. It's a beautiful masterpiece. This is like one of the best remake masterpieces I've ever seen, and you can tell the pure love that this was a passion project for Peter Jackson. You could tell the love that this filmmaker has for this movie, and I can tell you when a filmmaker is in love with what he's doing, and it's just a complete fan nerd of it. You feel that into the movie. I'ma tell you, dude, this is you're gonna feel something. You're gonna get something just pure gold, and I love this film. Naomi Watts plays Ann Darrow, the struggling actress who's trying to make ends meet and is close of being homeless until she's given this opportunity to take on a role for Jack Black Carl Denham's troubling production project of a monster movie which he desperately wants to film on an island that nobody really knows but knows about reputation. They go to the island and they try to film as much as they can while running into some the islanders, while also running into some creatures who go AWOL. And for those who don't know, there's also an extended version of this film that adds a couple of just add-on scenes, little snippets here or there. They're mostly just add-on some action sequences or little frames part of the action sequences, or just little snippets that kind of just, I guess, it just adds more to the adventure. It doesn't really affect character development or anything. It just kind of adds more to the film. And to watch either or versions, and really doesn't technically matter which version you watch because fundamentally the film plays out the same. It's just there's just those extra new additional scenes that just adds on to the movie. The biggest addition to the extended cut I remember, and I think I have the dual versions of the film where it has the original theatrical cut and the extended cut. The extended cut's called the deluxe edition, where if you played the video game, the Peter Jackson's King Kong official game of the movie, and you have like the swamp sequences. There's a swamp sequence into the film, into that extended cut, because you never get to that. Actually, you get to a snippet that's kind of like in the aftermath of it, but you get to that point after the end of this awesome action sequence where the humans are running away or running through or trying to survive the dinosaurs running away from the little raptors. But after that, they lean into the swamp sequences, and that's played into the extended cut. Also, King Kong's fight scenes in here. Just, I love how creative Peter Jackson gets with with the action scenes where the camera moves around and is not stagnant. It moves around, and you can see Kong's interaction fighting these creatures. And I love how it plays music, and then it kind of just dibbles down and cuts away the music to add more suspense. And it's like the ultimate action adventure kind of film that you never would have thought this is what an action adventure film should be. And then Universal is actually really good at action adventure vibe style movies. And you really get that here in this film. You guys tend to notice that each studio brands, there's a certain specific brand that that they stick with, and it has to feel like the vibe of that brand. And I tend to notice that. Uh, it's amazing. Kong here, I still love this King Kong design. I still love it. I think this is the best King Kong design that we had out of any iterations or predictions of the character, especially in live action. Um, they literally redesigned it from one of those silver, heck gorillas. Best King Kong design ever. And I love the emotional depth you get just from seeing his face and seeing just how fond and in love that this gorilla feels for Andero. And he literally wants to protect your big alpha male kind of guy right there, man. The tragic scenes at the end of the film, for those who don't know the story of King Kong, won't tell you how it goes. Beautiful sequence, beautiful. Everything about this film is near perfect and beautiful. Um, maybe the journey towards Skull Island does take a little bit long because it takes like a full good ass hour before you actually see Kong. And I'm fine with that. I don't like rush stuff to happen into the film. Like I like a film that takes its time to build up. And to be honest, the film has a good payoff for being as long as it was. Um, I don't think the film, maybe the film might have been a little overlong, but I don't care. The film was perfect for the way that it was, for building up character, building up story, building up epicness, and truly feeling like an epic action adventure film. That I feel like it's rare nowadays to have a film like this now. It's rare. Now, do all the visual effects hold up? No, this movie's almost 20 years old, so no. But I can tell you, there are some sequences here, especially when they played the score by Howard Shore, Beauty and the Beast. Every time they play that, what comes around, it feels beautiful and poetic. They played the song 3 times, and I can tell you it's one of the best epic moments I've had in a theater. And I tell you, dude, I wish they re-released this film. They should they should re-release this film in a celebration just for this movie. Now, I don't think this film had a big impact when it released. In fact, I think the film was moderate successful. I think the budget was like almost two was like over 200 and something, 250 or 260. I think the movie made like $500 million. Wasn't a big box office success, but I do believe, for that matter, I think maybe it was the length. I don't know, but I firmly believe this is one of Peter Jackson's underrated movies, and one of the most underrated films of 2005, and one of the most underrated remakes of all time. Uh, I would highly encourage anybody during the holiday seasons. It's only what 6 days until Christmas to pick up the chance of rewatching King Kong and have a good time of checking this film out during the holidays. Because I can tell you, if you're looking for a good epic adventure film with a lot of action and a lot of emotional depth, this is the one for you. King Kong, or I would like to say Peter Jackson's King Kong. Have you seen it? Comment below, let me know if you have, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.